In today's video, we take a 05 STI, pull the drivetrain off of it, and then install it onto a 90s two-door Impreza. If you're into the two-door Imprezas like I am, and they're your favorite, you're probably thinking about swapping a WRX or an STI from the time frame of an 04 to probably an 07, depending on if you get parts by themselves over time or you buy a car outright and pull everything off of it like I did. I bought a hail damaged car that was actually cheaper than buying all the parts individually, believe it or not, because I got a good price on the car with high miles on it. When I got into this, I would ask questions to people who've done it, and they said it's kind of like putting Legos together. I'm like, I don't know if it's that simple, but we'll figure it out. And the main thing that held Randall and I back for a couple weeks and we were kind of intimidated by is how heavy everything is. We don't have the right equipment to kind of get it done with the lift. So we brought it up in the lift. We ended up using a transmission jack with a gas tank adapter, and it was really sketchy lowering the front subframe with the engine and all that, but we got it done. It went up in the car, and this a lot smoother than it came out of the 05. We learned a lot. So you guys are gonna see how we got that done, how we broke it down and did it. You guys are gonna learn exactly how to do the whole process, and it is actually as simple as doing Legos. And there are maybe one or two things in here that I wish were more talked about in other videos, so that should help you if you go out and do this yourself. And I believe this video is gonna live up to the Karma Speed brand of building confidence in the garage, because anyone out there who goes and does this swap, if you watch this video, you're gonna know pretty much exactly what you need to do, and I'm very confident in that. And I didn't really find that too much to the certain detail level I was looking for in other videos. If you're looking for the video that's the most relatable for building confidence and you're about to do this job, this is the video for you. So make sure you share it with your friends that might be thinking about doing this. Maybe you know this is their dream car, like, hey, check this out, you could do this swap, and it's, you know, this simple, and these guys did it. All you need is a lift, and you know, this and this. Appreciate you guys being here. Let's dive into the process really quick. karmaspeed.com. If you guys like the videos on the channel, that's the best way to support the channel. The orders just slowly keep growing over time, and orders are coming in, and I'm very, very thankful. We just did a really big thing for Karma Speed that's going to help us grow it. Life's good. You guys are so supportive. It's made everything come true. I really, really appreciate you guys. Let's dive into this process and get after it. And the part of the journey begins where we take apart the 05. It's about 105 out. Randall and I are not hyped on it. Randall's got a rag on his head. I just sprayed off with the water hose, and now we are assessing how we want to pull this down. We're thinking about, if we can, dropping this all down at once in one piece instead of going up with the engine and dropping the trans. We just want to drop the engine, trans, subframes, whole front end at once. So we're gonna see what we can figure out. We've never done this before, so see what we can do. Cap back, downpipe out. Next thing we're gonna do is remove the drive shaft and find out if that was the best thing to do. Got out the big impact, got the earplugs in, because this is actually how I damaged my hearing pretty bad in 1 year. All these bolts underneath your car, and you take an impact to it, it's like the metal vibrations. It just freaking, I still have hearing problems to this day, so just put some earplugs in. At this point, you're gonna want to remove the center drive shaft. Really simple. Disconnected the shifter from the top. You're gonna have 4 12mm bolts, and then you're gonna come back underneath, and this bushing right here, you're gonna disconnect with the 2 12s, and then your whole shifter assembly is gonna sag. That's attached to the transmission right there. That way everything can fall. What else did you pull out up here? Anything?
Just the belly pan, and then that's about it. Just disconnected some of these transmission connectors. Their O2 sensors.
From here, we pretty much are ready to lower it, and then we're gonna disconnect everything under the hood, and then that way we can lower the whole subframe and the whole front end. Battery disconnected. Randall cut all the fuel lines. The hose is for the air oil separator. I took pictures of everything, took a little bit of video. Now we're thinking we need to pull off the intake manifold. This radiator drained. We can get that out of the way or just leave it there and start being really careful disconnecting and pulling all these wires apart. And we need to take out our motor mount up top there and continue moving on. Alright, it's been wasted some time. We got the intake manifold out. We got the TGVs out. We're gonna try and make sure everything's disconnected and we should be able to lower it out. At this stage, you're gonna look around, make sure you have everything disconnected that you can, around, on top, on the side of the engine, double check everything. Then we're gonna get the coolant out of the radiator, and then we can start taking off the bolts for the subframe. Gonna leave it hanging by like 2 or 3 or what?
Yeah. Give it a rip.
Yeah. Throughout this video where you see me not narrating too much or hear me talking too much, it's really just because it's that straightforward once you get under the car. You'll totally be able to figure it out on your own. Day 2, ready to drop it. We've got our transmission jack with the gas tank add-on. We're gonna see if this works. Transmission's already sagging. One thing I noticed yesterday that kind of snuck up on me is make sure you disconnect your ABS. That goes up into the firewall right here on both sides. There's a plug inside the engine bay. Super simple. Post lunch, got the whole front on blocks. It's gonna park there until we get it cleaned up. Moving on to the rear, we're kind of game planning right now. What's up with speed sensors? Where are those at?
Sensor.
Where are those at?
There.
So when we're preparing for this, these two right here are our main subframe bolts. We're gonna have to remove the sway bar on both sides, and then we made sure to disconnect our sensor for our rear diff. And then moving on up here, we have, what would you call these, the trailing arms?
Yeah.
These have a bracket right here, some bolts right there. Then this bracket here we'll remove, and then this big bolt right here, and then we do the same thing on the other side, and this whole rear end should drop out. At this point, make sure you go in the back seat, and above it you need to go in the corners of the car and get the nuts off the top of the rear coilovers before you lower the rear subframe and the whole rear end. I made that mistake and it built up a bunch of tension and it kind of shot off. You'll see in a second.
I don't know what about. Where am I tripping? Hold on. Oh, the struts aren't free. Like they.
I already knew that was gonna backfire when he put it there.
Oh, this is way safer than what we used to do.
Well, that's good. If you get enough weight on it, it'll just... Shout out to my neighbor Mike. He had this really rad car dolly sitting at his house, and it actually works way better than the ones that we built. It's lower to the ground, but it's perfect and so easy to roll around. So thank you, Mike, for this thing. Randall got it off here using some pieces of wood, some 2x4s, and it's been great to us. Now we wait until we rebuild this thing. Spray off the engine, degrease it a little bit, and we can move on to the next step. Today's the day. Randall got the car out on the lift. We went ahead and changed the spark plugs on this engine since it's going to be really hard to get to with how the wheel tubs are that we built. We went ahead and pulled off the rear coilovers. We do have to drill a new hole for these. Randall will break it down.
So I measured the rear strut from here to here on these two bolts, and the holes on the car are perfect to that. The only one that's not is this one over here, and it's about probably 1/8 of an inch away from the existing hole. So we can bring it on over here. Essentially these two lined up right there, and that just needs to go right up in there. Factory hole, and then the new hole that we'll be drilling. Use my punch to mark the center, and then I'm gonna go ahead and drill a smaller pilot hole.
I had to go from the top.
It might, yeah. That should be good.
Is that sketchy?
With what?
See how close they are?
Oh yeah, no, that's all you need is just a big washer up top, and that'll take care of that.
We just got the coil over to fit in, and we have our new hole you can see here, but these two we drilled out to a 3/4 drill bit, so they made these a little bit bigger, and then it finally fit. So Randall's gonna do the old repeat on this side, and then we should be good to go. Got both rear coilovers out. Now we're just prepping to put the rear subframe in. Went and got our subframe hardware bag. Thanks to Randall's organization. What's going through your head right now, Randall? You getting stuff out of the way, or are we ready?
Yeah,
or
I'm getting ready to put it under there and put it up in there, and we'll get it bolted.
Subframe bolts are in. Still have the ones up front, but it's about to slowly become half of a car again. I feel like as this thing comes together, we just don't even have a reaction because it's taking so long. Like as each thing happens, we're like, cool. Yep, we've put our time in. Now what are you thinking?
Yep, that's a car, and yep, that's how it bolts together. Yeah, I'm gonna get the swipe bar in here real quick.
Moving on to the front of the car, we put a very sketchy setup together. We got our little dollies that we built, put some 2x4s in between, a big piece of plywood that we had at the house, and then we dragged it over. and made this work, luckily. The lift's gonna hit our board. We just learned the hard way that on this whole subframe setup, this piece right here actually serves no purpose and isn't necessary on this chassis. It's probably just for the actual 05. So we're gonna go ahead and cherry pick the motor, pull it up, and then take that off again. And then we'll be back to getting the motor up in there, which is nice because this reduces weight and it makes it easier to, you know, maneuver around in there. Four or two 17 millimeters? No, four.
Four of them, yeah.
Oh, beautiful.
Straight in?
It's getting closer. Let's just finish it when you get back.
Yeah.
Right. This is what victory looks like right here, boys. Got a nut on. Randall's got the other side on. You gotta lower it. You think it's gonna suck it up? Oh yeah, you're right. Yes, sir. The fun part, this is where it starts to get fun. This is where it starts to become worth it. I still got a bolt, get one more bolt in. And Randall had to go run an errand. I'm gonna try and get the trans bolted up before he gets back. I can't believe it. Main 4 bolts in that holds the engine and trans in. So now we're moving on to these guys right here, which these are the lower control arms, and those have a bushing right here, and we need to relieve some weight, so we're going to get our little supports on both lower control arms, and then that should let us bolt these in. And then from there I'll support the rear of the transmission and then bolt those up in, and then figure out how to get our shifter in place. So this is easy. It's gonna be easy. It's easy. Bolted in, bolted in. Now I'm putting some support right here. I took off the stock bushing, the shifter bushing that I never took off. It's right here. It looks like, and I pulled it out, we left it in there. We're gonna use hopefully the aftermarket one is the same width, which I can just check right here. And it is, so we can upgrade that later. I wanna put a new one on that I put on my 2015 STI that I like how it feels. So now I just gotta get these bolts up in here, and then the big boys right here. We'll get the shifter in place, and that's it. Then we can put the drive shaft in. What are you doing?
Just plugging holes, you know?
These bolts have this flat spot on it that Randall was waking me up to. Make sure you get that right. E-brake line.
Yeah, this is where this one went.
We are at the phase of putting the front coilovers in. That is crazy to see.
I like that.
That is crazy.
It's the car.
It's not just a car.
Right there.
Yeah, get low.
You'll be driving it here real soon.
First little look. Yoo-hoo! That looks sick on camera. That's what I'm talking about.
That's all that matters.
Give her a good frame right here.
She looks good without an interior. It looks like a race car.
Yeah, hold her right there. I gotta go get the last piece that I'm not gonna put on, but I want to mock up. Yeah, boys. Just to let them know.
Nice and crooked.
No, yeah, like this.
Looks
Like,
good.
We'll put it here. Look at that.
Yep.
That would look good.
Yeah, look pretty
Maybe
clean.
upside down.
True.
Maybe like here. Let me sit in it. Uh-oh. We bent her on the left.
Put your seatbelt on. Alright, got him. We don't need those where we're going.
I'll get a little view from the front. No
Out the hood.
windshield. We'll give him the Subi weight. What's up? Huh?
Huh.
What are you looking at?
Alright, so wastegate right here.
I honestly was like, let's make this kind of tame, but after seeing it together, I'm like, okay, maybe we should do some wastegates out the hood or something.
Oh yeah, for sure.
It's just the way the suspension was set up on the white car. Oh. Very cool. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit the thumbs up. That helps more people see it. Share it with a friend. Go to karmaspeed.com. If you guys want to grab a hat, shirt, jet tag, we have a bunch of different vehicles on there, so it might be one for you, your homie. You guys can all get the same clean jet tags. We have a bunch of stuff. I am really, really appreciative of you guys who stick it out here till the end. It really means a lot to me. Let me know what you guys want to see next in the comments. We have a lot of footage coming on this and some projects, like I said, that are Karma Speed based, other cars, and then the rally content coming. I think you guys are really, really going to enjoy everything coming up. Thanks so much. I'll see you in the next episode. Hope you guys have a good day, night, evening, wherever you're at. Appreciate you. Peace.